What up, what up? Editor Ray back again. I threw out my wig, I'm sorry. I'm just popping in here from the future because in hindsight, after editing this video, I feel like the point I was trying to make isn't super clear, so I want to say right now, I don't like collectibles, but I have nothing against collectors. In a nutshell, all collectibles are bad, regardless of how they're packaged or how popular they are, but I do think it's also not helpful at all to say sweeping statements like all collectibles suck. If you look into it enough, basically anything you purchase these days is bad in some way. It is impossible to draw a clear line on topics like this. And speaking in absolutes only gets people mad and starts arguments. Companies are going to continue making these kinds of items because there is always going to be a demand for it. And it's useless to try and shame the entire global population for their purchases, okay? I'm not trying to be the fun police, and I'm not going to pretend that I don't buy little trinkets every now and then. The only thing I think we can realistically do as individuals is to try and get as many people as we can to understand the systems that they are participating in. And after that, it is up to them to do what they want with that information. Because at the end of the day, despite all our rage, we are still just a rat in a cage. Okay, now go watch me rant. So the only things I think I have ever intentionally collected was 8 years ago, back when I got my first job at Jersey Mike's in high school. I was so excited. Oh boy, what were my dream items that I was gonna splurge on with my very first job? Well, let me tell you, me and my mushy frontal lobe went and got 3 My Hero Academia pop figures, Ichigo Kurosaki, and scroll posters of Death Note and Sebastian Michaelis. Yup, my parents did not have to worry about me being invited to parties. Oh my god, I'm getting flashbacks. That pose had a chokehold on me for years. You know the pose. You know what pose I'm talking about. Oh my god, why was I like that? Now visually, looking at me right now, ow. That's not surprising at all. But the craziest part about that fact back when I was like 15 is that while I was running around doing my weird kid shit, I looked like this. Yeah, that's me. I was like a catfish for normal people. But hey, I found my true style at least. The point is, I'm not much of a collector. Never really cared about collecting things unless you count those pop figures of shame almost a decade ago. But it's clear to me, and I think everybody else, that some form of this hobby has exploded in popularity recently. If you're gonna actually use or cherish items, then obviously there is no problem with collecting. That's not the part that's wrong. It's great that people are exploring their interests. However, the more mainstream it is, the more evil it seems to be becoming. There's the still popular classics, of course, like Pokemon cards and Legos, and those do have their own issues, but I'm going to be talking more about what I call the fast fashion in collectibles culture. Things that rely on that short-lived virality online to siphon as much profit as they can before the trend dies and people start to view it as some lame old news. And now we have a new big dog trend in town. Pop Mart figures, more specifically Labubu's.
Labubu haul! Because it's iconic, and I love to do iconic shit.
One per family, one per family, one per family.
So some people think they're really ugly, and personally, I don't think they're that bad, but much like how I also think pugs are cute, I'd never buy one because their existence is unethical. So for a lot of people, these weird creatures just sort of spawned in out of nowhere online. You're just seeing everybody buying them and everybody opening them on the internet, and so for a lot of people, they just started buying them because of the trend. But for some context, from what I could find, these creatures have actually been around for a few years now. And they rose to fame last year because of a member in the popular K-pop group Blackpink.
And this is my secret obsession. Oh my god, this is so heavy. So this, Simomo, and this is Labubu. Yes.
But then, recently this year, Rihanna was caught with a pink Labubu in a photo, and that was all it took for it to spread like wildfire in America as well. And all of this sudden popularity has earned this once small company billions of dollars. billions with a B. Approximately $40 billion to be exact. Because of this thing. And by the way, I don't know if I'm the one trapped under a rock here, but I had no idea people actually copied celebrities to that degree. Like, people actually buy things because they saw somebody popular wearing it. That's like a real thing. People actually do that. These plushies are selling out within seconds of restocking. Their store page is just a collage of PNGs at this point because you're not getting a thing from there. And people are waiting in amusement park length lines just to have the opportunity to step foot inside of a Pop Mart.
Oh, hell no. Oh. Oh, hell no, I'm going home.
I am somebody that is the complete opposite of whatever this is. So it's very hard for me to understand why. You know, like, just why? People that know me in real life know that one thing that I stand by with a burning passion is my pure hatred for standing in lines. There are very few things that I would personally voluntarily stand in a line for. And I don't go to amusement parks for that exact reason. It's like, oh, hey, buddy, you want to pay a whole bunch of money to go stand in lines for hours upon hours upon hours, only to go on rides that last under 5 minutes? And oh, by the way, there is intentionally nowhere for you to sit and rest during these lines? I would rather shoot myself with a gun. Like, I'm tweaking out. I'm getting frustrated just thinking about it. Like, seriously, how can you see this big ass line and then be these people towards the end that still decide to stand in it? And these people are willing to stand in like 3-hour-long lines to buy a keychain. Would never be me. It just couldn't. It could never be me. I'm sorry. I'm not that person. I'm just not passionate enough about anything, I guess. And the worst part about that whole thing is that they're probably not even gonna get their favorite one because these collectibles are being sold in blind boxes. Now, I'm not sure how aware everybody else is of this, but blind boxes and mystery packs or whatever are gambling. Right? Is everybody aware of that? Like, it just straight up is gambling. It's a marketing strategy that aims to give their factory-made products the illusion of rarity and gives buyers that thrill of physically unwrapping something and the dopamine hits that come with getting the one you wanted. Mystery boxes are basically just rebranded scratch-off tickets for Gen Z, except instead of getting money as a reward, you just get a piece of plastic. Ain't that fun? Ain't that fun, guys? Wow, I love my plastic. And that whole like loot box mechanic that now plagues modern video games is also just gambling that children have easy access to. Let's not forget about that. Who said that? Oh my god, who the fuck said that? So whatever, this style of marketing has been around for a long time. I remember back in the day, you know, running around at the mall with my family, and then you see that whole big section of coin machines and you beg your parents for a quarter so you can go grab whatever random trinket they stocked those things with. But nowadays, companies are asking for outrageous prices for one of these items. And the resellers, oh my god. Just getting an unopened blind box can easily be over $100. One of these Labubu figures was sold at an auction for over $200,000. And I could get into a whole separate rant about how insane the scalpers are, but I want to focus more on the product itself for this video. Everybody knows scalpers suck at this point. These things are so sought after that people are at risk of their Labubus being stolen if they take them out in public. So people have begun buying knockoffs nicknamed Lafufus to use in place of the purpose of the Labubus. And of course, these knockoffs are also going to be used for scamming. Shady sellers trying to market them as authentic, and then you open the box and find this. Now, I think the key difference here is something being collected because you personally like it and it's like your interest versus something being collected because it's popular and you have FOMO or you're buying it as an investment with the hope of getting financial gain in the future. And unfortunately, for a majority of buyers, it's the latter. So many people are just constantly chomping at the bit to jump onto whatever the next new trend is. And then once that novelty wears off, they just toss that shit to the side and then act like moody teenagers saying things like, unpopular opinion, but that was low-key overrated. Please, oh my god, please snap out of it, oh my god. I also want to say here as well that this issue isn't specifically about Labubu's or Pop Mart. It's a symptom of the greater issue of this type of overconsumption. Rather than people collecting the thing because they like it, the entire product itself is just a collectible with no other appeal or purpose. Does that make sense? Legos and Gundams are meant to be built like a puzzle. Pokemon cards are meant to be played with. Beyblades are meant for pissing off your friends on the playground. Warhammer figures are meant to be used during the tabletop games. Mighty Beans are meant to be swallowed. But there are countless companies using the tactic of creating their own characters, trying to convince you these characters have value, and then fabricating rarity and wrapping them in copious amounts of plastic to gamify their product to you. And the game is not the product that you're getting. There is no after. It's the thrill of unopening that mystery pack and being excited that you got the green piece of plastic instead of the purple one because the box says the purple one is only a common. So all that I'm hoping for here is that if you are somebody that collects trending items, you should be intending to keep them as an actual loving collection. Because the biggest issue with this style of collecting is how much waste it generates. These are figurines being pumped out of factories by the millions, and if/when the trend dies, these Labubus and these Lafufus are going to the landfill. Is Labubu a tongue twister, you think? I'm gonna try to say it like 10 times fast. Labubu, 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 labubu. Why are you still here? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Shh. Shh. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I'm not gaslighting you. You're just imagining things.